Welcome to She Built It. I'm your host, Melanie Barr. Building a business means making a bet on yourself and on an idea that others have not seen the way you see it. The founders who break through are usually the ones who stopped waiting for someone else to make the thing that they knew the world needed. Today's guest did not build around a trend. She built around a feeling, the feeling of being put together and comfortable at the same time without ever having to choose between the two. Lauren Stephens is the co-founder and CEO of Dudley Stephens, a fashion brand known for its elevated fleece styles designed for real life. The school run, the weekend, the office, and the outdoors. She turned a very clear point of view into a loyal and growing customer community, and she did it by staying close to who she was building it for. Lauren is also a podcaster, a writer, and someone who has built her brand and her personal platform at the same time, sharing her journey in fashion, beauty, and wellness alongside the business she's growing. She is a mom, a wife, and a founder who understands that a strong brand is not just about what you sell. It's about how you make people feel and why they keep coming back. I cannot wait to get into how she thinks about growth, community, and building something with staying power. Lauren, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to see you, and we've met before as we were just discussing, so it's so nice to chat today.
Yeah, so fun. We met at Reese Witherspoon's Shine Away, and it's so nice to be talking again and hearing more about your brand. What is the moment or belief when you said that Dudley Stephens, the brand, needed to exist?
It was in 2014. I was working in fashion. Well, I was working in beauty at the time, actually, but I was in the corporate world. I had a long career in fashion prior to working. I was working for Lancome at the time, and I missed fashion. I missed working in fashion. And my mom had this idea with my sister and I, where she had just picked up boating as like a hobby with my dad. She felt like there wasn't anything that she could find that was warm and like a fleece, like washable, versatile, like durable fabric that can go from like being on the boat, being on her boat, to then coming off and going to dinner. And when she said this to my sister and I, a light bulb went off and we both thought, okay, that needs to exist. How do we make it? And we always talked about having a family company, but it was really that light bulb moment when our mom said that to us. And, it was probably one moment where she said that, but then we just continued to talk about it and continued to discuss how there just was not enough out there for women that are stylish women. Like my mom is very stylish, but that is like outdoorsy, but not super outdoorsy, if that makes sense.
Yes. I remember when I saw your clothing at Shine Away, I remember thinking it's so great for travel. So for any
Yeah,
woman who travels for work or business coming on and off planes, I thought you could look elevated but also comfortable at the same time.
exactly, exactly. And that has also just been this nice little surprise while we were launching and while we're designing now. And we realized that over the course of the years, we were like, wait, this is actually the perfect thing to wear on an airplane or a train or wherever you're going. In fact, we just got some new fall samples in, which is crazy thinking about fall already. But
Yeah.
I'm going on a trip next week. Oh shoot, I'm gonna just borrow this. Like even though we need to
Yes.
like photograph them. Like,
Yes.
but it's so good for travel.
I'm a mom of twins, and I traveled every 2 months from when they were 5 months old till they started
Oh my gosh.
kindergarten on
Yep.
so many airplanes, and it's just so nice when you feel like you're comfortable, but you also look good. It just
Yeah,
changes
exactly.
everything.
I know. It really changes your mood and your motivation to if you're traveling for work and just feeling good. And that's really what our customers love about our brand and us too. It's almost like a security blanket, like when you're wearing one of our turtlenecks or our pullovers. Like it just is something that you really can put on and feel kind of like a hug that we always used to say that, like a warm hug. And then you still look good too. You still feel stylish. You could go to work. It really does all those things.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I'm always cold. So I always have
Same.
something with me in case you walk into air conditioning and all of a sudden you're freezing.
I know. There is not a day, even when I live in Connecticut, when it's 95 degrees and there's a heat wave in August, I always have a Dudley Stephens with me. It's just always in my bag, around my shoulders. I hate air conditioner when it's too cold.
Yes, I know you walk in from 100-degree weather and all of a sudden you're freezing and
Yes,
you're like, how is this possible with the weather outside?
exactly, exactly. And we have lightweight fabrics too, fleece fabrics and a waffle. We have new fabrics that we've launched the past 10 years, but we do have lighter weight things that work in the summer too. So they're perfect for layering.
Tell us more about who you are, what Dudley Stephens is, and the work you're leading right now as your brand grows.
I'm a mom of two also. I didn't have twins, I had Irish twins. So,
Yes,
yeah, it's
just as
like,
busy.
yeah, just as busy. I live in Connecticut. Yeah, our kids are 9 and 10. We started the company in 2015. Over the course of 10 years, things can change and shapeshift in a way, like what they were when we launched. We launched a really small company when we began in 2015, and we were just very scrappy, and we still are very scrappy, honestly. But now, yeah, so today we have this wonderful brand that we're all so proud of. It's still all family owned and operated between my mom and dad and my sister. And so we really lean on each other as it relates to day in and day out, what you would call the work day and just work in general. And so we just feel really thankful that we've gotten here to this place. And I would say every day our mission is to make stylish fleece clothing for women. We have men and children styles as well. And I mean, we say fleece, we do have other fabrics, like I mentioned. Today, it's like there's never a dull day. There's always something going on with the kids, with Dudley Stevens, and with fashion, we're always designing a year ahead, right? So right now, I'm actually thinking about fall 2027 at the moment. It's funny talking to you now and discussing what's going on with our brand now, but we're already thinking ahead in all ways. I love what I do. I feel so thankful to have built this company and to be running it every day. I just love meeting new women and like such as yourself and speaking on podcasts and trying to like really get the word out because I think every day we're just on a mission to find new women that we know will love our product. Those are my goals every day. Find new women that will love Dudley Stevens, be with the kids, and then run our amazing team and our company that works so hard to help us every day.
Yeah, and I know all of everyone listening is busy traveling and building businesses and
Yeah.
can relate to
Yes.
everything you're going through and your daily life. What
Yeah.
lights you up the most about working on Dudley Stevens?
I would say the product still, like I am at the office today and I just unpacked two boxes of new fall samples that we will start launching in August timing or so. And so we're already almost in July, which is well, not really, but we're approaching it on July. So like our fall drops start in August, which seems like it's around the corner. But what's funny is that opening these boxes still feels like Christmas to me. I get so excited to see the new styles that we've put so much time into, and we've only seen them in a fitting and they're not in the final color or they're not done yet in the fittings. And then we adjust them in the final fitting, and then they make the samples that we will then use for photo shoots and whatever we need in the office. So when I open the final samples, it's so exciting. And so I think that's really what drives us every day is the product, how it relates to our lives and how much easier it makes my life wearing our product, how excited it makes me and how just good it looks and how it feels on. All of those things together really light me up every day. And I think that's what the course of now almost 11 years motivates me so much is that I just want every woman to have something like this in her closet from Dudley Stevens because I truly believe in it. And then I would say also working with amazing women. I know you interview and speak to so many of them as well. And I'm constantly inspired by women that we work with, that I meet, and it really gets me going. I am such a proponent for all of that. Interactions such as this today, it really thrills me to be able to work with such amazing women.
And it has to be so fun to have something go from an idea to seeing it live. And it has to be so fun to
Yeah.
open the boxes and see that come to life.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy how that all happens. You just see a sketch on paper that our designer has done, and then all of a sudden you open the box and you have it in real life, and it's so great.
And I'm sure the early days wasn't easy, especially as a mom with a family, but it's so great you can lean on your other family members throughout the business. But I know what it's like, and I
Sure.
know anyone listening knows what it's like to think, I want to be farther along, I want to be farther along every day. But then you look back over the years and think, wow, we've created this really amazing business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's all of that. Like I feel like it's like raising children. You're in the hard stages when they're toddlers. Oh, I can't wait till they can do XYZ. And like what you just said is so spot on. Sometimes as an entrepreneur, you're like, oh, we're not here yet, or we're not doing this yet. And then You have to look around and appreciate everything that you have at the moment, what you've already built, even if it's your 1 year in. It's so important to do that.
How are you using AI in your business today? And where do you see the biggest opportunity for AI to support fashion and a lifestyle brand like Dudley Stephens?
It's such a hot topic right now, right? Everybody's discussing this. And yeah, it's
Almost too
like
much.
too
Even though
much.
it's
I know.
important, we have to. We
We
have
have
to.
to. We really have to. And I think that's the tricky part with all of this is that if we don't learn and we don't stay up with everything, we will fall behind and it's not going away. I think that's the scare of it is that like this is here to stay. How we implement it and use it and educate ourselves on it is so important. So we are using it in a lot of ways. We're using it with our customer service. And actually, I would love to preface that because I know it's so controversial right now. It can be really triggering for people. And I think there was someone that gave like a college graduation speech and was like booed when he mentioned, or he or she, I don't remember when he mentioned AI in the speech because the college graduates didn't want to hear that. It's a hot button item right now. And I think it's very polarizing. The way I view it, I'm hoping others can too, is we are a small business. With that comes limited budgets, limited headcount, time, especially as a mom. Time is so valuable, and time is like money right now for me. It's everything. So, the way I see it, this technology can change all of that for us as small businesses, and it can really help us compete with the big brands, put ourselves out there in ways that we couldn't before, that our hands were tied. So in a way for me, it's really freeing and it feels like such an exciting time and there's so much opportunity out there to implement it in the right ways if we can do that. We're using it in our customer service. We have one amazing woman who runs our customer service and we've been able to implement it and cut down on her tickets, we call them, with customers because it can respond to things quick and one off that are quick questions. So we're starting to use it in that way. And we've seen a lot of productivity there. We are starting to use it for photography also, which is so controversial in the fashion industry right now. And I've listened to many podcasts with other founders of bigger companies, and some will come out and say, we're never using it. And I want to reach through and talk to them myself. It's too much to say that right now. You don't know. And because the technology is getting better by the minute, in
Yeah.
fact. Like,
Soon
you
you're
know,
not going to be able to know. You won't
I
know.
I I think we don't know already. I think a lot of companies are using it already and we don't know. I
Hmm.
think that like
Yeah,
food,
for
like
sure.
DoorDash is using it for food. In the medical world, it's already being used, which in healthcare, like who knows it's amazing what they might be able to do because of all this technology. To say that you're never going to use it is such a bold statement. And I'm the founder and running this company, and I'm never going to say that. What we're seeing already and what we're researching is insane. If it's used right and properly, it can be a one up for us as a female
Yeah.
founded small company. Who wouldn't want that? Female founded and a small company, small business. I'm employing my sister and I have employees. We have agencies. It's adding to our headcount, to be honest, right now. We just hired an agency to help us with it. And we didn't have that before. I'm sure it's going to eliminate certain areas and certain jobs. But I think if you are in any industry right now, I encourage everyone to embrace it and start using it and start showing your boss or your colleagues, whoever you're working with, that you know how to use it because those are the people that everyone wants right now. If you go to your boss and you say, I'm using it to do this and I know I can do this and da da da, I'm going to say, like, oh my God, that's awesome. Like, show me what you're doing. I don't know. I don't understand that. We need to embrace it and use it to our advantage. And I know there's a lot that comes with that. It's heavy. There's the controversies with the data centers being built and the environmental impacts of all of that. We're all still learning so much about it. As female founders, we need to do the research and we need to know. We need to know all the implications and then make decisions for ourselves and our company based on those decisions and like our beliefs too, like where we stand on things. Never say no to all this
Yes.
technology, right?
Yes. Yes. At the very start of this, I thought I can run towards it or away from it. And I thought I'm absolutely going to run towards it because I have people say to me, because I produce and manage podcasts, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
And the podcast hosts that I work with, we all want to have conversations with real people. And yes,
Yeah.
you can create one that's not real, but podcasts are being used today for a lot of different reasons.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
every brand uses it in a slightly different way. And like you said, AI can help with customer service to a certain point. I mean, at a certain point, you might want a real person, but
Yep.
you can use it every day to find answers more quickly. And you're right,
Yeah,
to your point, a small business now much more easily compete with large businesses or even
exactly.
surpass them in some areas if AI is mapped out in the right way.
We can only afford to have one customer service person, but now we have this technology built in and we can have cut down on stuff and answer more people and efficiently get back to people. So it's awesome in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah. As you build your brand, how are you thinking about visibility and positioning in a world where algorithms are changing and owned media matters more than ever?
It's been so tricky. 10 years ago when we launched, I kind of saw that Instagram was becoming this thing, right? And there were fashion bloggers arising and mommy bloggers starting. And my background was in PR, in fashion PR before. And so, where we worked with magazines that print,
Mhm.
which is like
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
seems no longer,
Yeah.
kind of saw this opportunity to use this social media tool to get our brand out there. And it was as simple as that. Free advertising, like post a picture. I would just model the product. We reached all these new women and we also reached out to fashion bloggers and sent them product and we paid them a very small amount to post about us and they did and then they loved it and then organically and word of mouth people would just talk and so we grew through that. Oh, in 2026 it's become a whole new ball game and it's totally different. There's video, there's reels, all these things that didn't exist in 2015 that none of us knew in 11 years. Never did I think I'd be like speaking to camera and doing video. That never even crossed my mind. Goes back to the AI conversation. We all need to just stay on top of all these trends and things, and it can be so exhausting. And there are days when I really feel as if I never am going to understand it. I'm getting old and I can't keep up, and it's trends and all that. And it's so hard. If we continue to stay true to our message and true to our mission and who we are, we can overcome like that algorithm issue. There's so many interesting things on Instagram right now. And I feel like the brands that are really doing a good job are the ones who are speaking to camera, being honest, being authentic, showing how the product is really worn or, whatever the case may be. And AI can't do that. Or maybe it will in the future. I don't know. But I think being like
Yeah, we're not robots yet, I don't
yeah,
think.
we're not robots yet, and I think that's also where, like, being the face, like, as a founder is also so important right now, having that recognizable figure in the reels, talking about things. We have our podcast so that we can get extra content, and it's my sister and I chatting and bantering about business. All of those things remain really important with the new algorithms and how things are going and where people are seeing things and where people are discovering new brands. It's changing so much constantly. But I think that if we continue to speak to our customer, speak to women who are like us, who would like our product, and just keep doing that and really staying true to our core. I'm not a big fan of following algorithm trends on Instagram just to like get eyes. I hate to use this example, but like people smoking cigarettes on Instagram, that seemed to be people were like, "Oh yeah, let's just be real." Because it was showing that people were just being real. Like in a way, like it felt authentic in a way that like everyone's just kind of fed up with like trying to be this like perfect facade or whatever. That was kind of the explanation behind why that was picking why people were resonating with that. But we're always just going to be who we are as a brand, stick true to that and not pick up on a silly trend that doesn't feel on brand. Sure, if it feels on brand, it's cute and we can do it, whatever, that makes sense. But just because you have like a million views or hundreds of whatever, it doesn't necessarily sell the product. I think that's also part of it. Going viral, you might not sell anything. You really might not, because if it's a viral reel that's not speaking to your brand or your product or who you are, people just are going to like it and move on and scroll up and think it's funny, but that's it. Your social media and who you are and your brand and what you're promoting needs to stay and be consistent no matter the algorithm, because otherwise you're going to find yourself with a viral video that was funny that didn't sell anything.
But it didn't translate.
Exactly. As much as we want to try to keep up with the algorithm, we still need to think about like who we are.
And it's so smart that you're taking your customers on the journey with you, on the business journey with you, and going
Yeah,
through all the challenges because we're all going through the challenges. Every day there's a new update or a new something happening, and it is a
exactly.
lot to keep up with. It's
Yeah.
exciting. At the same time, it's a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
What is your biggest growth challenge right now, and how are you thinking about solving it?
It really goes down to reaching new women, and it's become more expensive. We still advertise on Meta and Google. That's a big part of our business is that advertising. And we set out from the beginning to have our own email list. Those things we own are really priceless now. And I think reaching new women has become harder than ever, reaching new customers. And that therein is the biggest challenge. How do we get to that next layer of women that, like, I met a woman this past week through a friend. We were playing golf actually, and I didn't know her. And she lives in Marin County in San Francisco, and she had never heard of us. I don't wanna, like, stand my high horse and be like, "I can't believe you've never heard of us." Where you live is, like, perfect for our products, like, climate-wise and all that, and lifestyle. So there's always women there that there's so many that have never even heard of us, and so I that is my challenge every day. I literally think of it every day. That's the biggest hurdle now, and I think because it came so easy in the beginning because of where Instagram was and social media was then, we've had to really shift our thinking, bend and shape and figure out different ways to reach women. So that is definitely the biggest growth challenge for us. And we do not have investment money. We are all family funded from the beginning and so we don't have a bankroll. We really are all always scrappy. So growth is hard right now. It's definitely a challenge.
I love that, but you also can now make your own decisions. You're not relying on having to
Yes,
do things
exactly.
due to investors, so
Yep.
that's great.
Yeah, it's very nice.
What is one honest lesson about building a brand that you wish more founders talked about more openly?
All of a sudden, if you're successful, well, I hate to use the word successful because there's so many different definitions, but all of a sudden you get to a place where you're hiring people. It's the hardest thing. It was the hardest thing for me to do. And I failed in many ways and I succeeded in others. And I learned so much about myself. It's like placing a mirror in front of yourself and having all the things you've been worried about that you do reflected back to you. It really is so hard. It's humbling. Had I known more and had I been a little more careful and more educated on what it's like to lead people going into that, that would have been a huge help. It's an amazing thing, but it's also it just was a shock, I feel like. So that would have been
I think
good.
coming from
Yeah.
working with family too, it had to be because you were
Yes.
probably a small team. And then as you add people that are not family members, that had to
Yeah.
be interesting. And not every business leader is good. I'm certainly not good at everything. It's interesting when you find those areas where you're like, okay, I'm really good. I'm loving doing this, but I need to improve in this area. And everyone has it.
Exactly. Yes, exactly, exactly. So that was definitely the hardest thing I think that I experienced as we were really growing and like it was moving quickly. I just became so overwhelmed with it and felt like I was failing at so many points. But like as I'm telling my kids now or trying to, the only way you're ever going to grow is to fail. And it sounds so cliche. We won't know until we see what we can't do or we see what we did wrong or how we handled a situation. So I value all of this experience so much. It's led me to grow as a person. And so if we shut down tomorrow, I would look at it like that. Like, oh my God, I've learned so much, you know?
Yeah. Being an entrepreneur takes so much tenacity because
Yes.
it's being on a roller coaster and it's getting up every day and not knowing the
Yep.
hurdles you're going to have to jump. But it is
Yeah.
also exciting and fun at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
How do you make sure to protect and cultivate your joy as you're growing your business?
For me, it's really having downtime and like alone time to think through things that I need big time. I love being creative. It's actually my joy. That would be another answer to your earlier question. In order to be creative, I have to give myself time and like quietness and space. And I don't have a creative background before I started this company. I was working in public relations and I was on like the flip side of like all the creative. Because of that, I toggle between this like business minded person and creative minded person, which I think is a very huge advantage for running a company. Being able to tap into both sides and also appreciate both sides is really important, especially in the retail world. Having downtime and to tap in and come up with ideas and strategize and get to that headspace of because that's what we are as entrepreneurs. There's nothing that excites me more than having a new idea and running with it. That literally gets me up in the morning when I think of something exciting that could happen. And how do we get there? What's the challenge? What are we going to do to make it happen? I really need that time to like get there. Otherwise, it's too chaotic.
I smiled because I'm a mom and it's really hard to find that self time. And this morning,
So
I
hard.
usually watch something as I'm drinking my morning coffee, but I sat there in silence and I thought, is something wrong?
Yeah.
And then I thought, no, I just need silence for
Exactly.
my
Yes.
morning coffee to have
1000%.
ideas and to let those sink in because the second I get my day going, it's going to go till I fall asleep.
Exactly. And then before you know it, it's 10 PM, you're in bed and you're like, wait, what did I do today? And you did a lot, but
I
like
know.
you did, if you don't have that business time, that you time to like really think through about stuff, it's so helpful.
Thank you so much for joining us today and for
Yes.
building this amazing clothing line that we can travel and feel elevated in. Please
Love
share
it.
with us how and where we can find you.
Great. So our website is dudley-stevens.com, and that's with a PH. And we're on Instagram at Dudley_Stevens.